Hello students, in this video let us study the second type of uh, normal tissue, that is connective tissue, and it is session 52 of the histology unit. Now what is connective tissue? So in previous video we already studied the first basic type of tissue, that is epithelial tissue, right? So we already know that there are four basic types of tissues: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, then muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. So this is one of the basic type of tissue. So connective tissue is a type of basic tissue. Now, uh, whereas epithelium tissue has its origin from all the three dermal layers. So you find epithelium originating from ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, whereas connective tissue originates only from the mesoderm layer of the embryo. And as far as its distribution is concerned, connective tissue is found distributed throughout the body. It is found in almost all parts of the body, and it is mainly found between the other tissues. Now that is why it is called connective tissue. Connective tissue is like a cementing substance, or it is like a substance in which all other tissues and organs are present. So that's why its distribution is all over the body. Now, the connective tissues are classified into different types. So we can identify three main categories of connective tissue. So the first one is connective tissue proper, second one is supporting connective tissue, and the third type is fluid connective tissue. So connective tissue proper is again represented by loose connective tissue and dense connective tissue. So later we will study the nature of these two types of tissues. And the supporting connective tissues, the examples are cartilage and bone. So the name itself tells you the function of these connective tissues. So they support the body in the form of endoskeleton. Whereas the third category includes the fluid connective tissue. So this connective tissue exists in the form of liquid. So examples are blood and lymph. Okay. Now these are the three types of connective tissues which are found in the body. Now, in this diagrammatic representation, we can see the different types of connective tissues. So, here you can see the connective tissue is divided into connective tissue proper and supporting connective tissue and fluid connecting tissue. So, loose and dense are the examples under connective tissue proper. Cartilage and bone are examples for supporting, and blood and lymph are example for fluid connecting tissue. Now let us understand the components or structure of connective tissue. Now if you recall the epithelial tissue is mainly made up of cells, and the other part is mainly the basement membrane. So it was a very simple tissue with basement membranes and cells, whereas connective tissue is little bit different. So connective tissue is mainly made up of a ground substance which is called matrix, and in this matrix you find two important components, that is the cells, different kinds of cells and different kinds of fibers. So you can say a connective tissue is made up of a ground substance called matrix and different kinds of cells and different kinds of fibers in this matrix. Now what is matrix or what is ground substance? Now ground substance is normally made up of organic and inorganic components, and organic component is normally the protein, and inorganic component is made up of minerals and water, right? So that forms the ground substance in which we find the cells, and depending upon the category of the connective tissue we find different kinds of cell, but most commonly we find the cells like fibroblast, and fibrocytes, adipocytes, etc. And here one very important type of cell we find in the connective, the ground substance, is mesenchymal cell. Now this mesenchymal cell is the one which is going to produce the other kinds of cells like fibroblasts, adipocytes, etc. Now fibroblast is the cell which is going to secrete the fibers, and adipocytes, later we are going to study, it is the one which is involved in the storage of fat. Okay, and in the ground substance of the connective tissue we also find macrophages and mast cells. So if you studied the immune system, then you may be knowing the names of these cells called macrophages and mast cells. So these cells are mainly involved in the immune response. So macrophages are mainly the phagocytic cells, which will destroy the pathogen that enters into the tissues, and they are mainly going to protect the body by destroying the pathogen by phagocytosizing the pathogen. So their macrophages are basically the phagocytic cells, which are part of the immune response. Now mast cells are the cells which will whenever there is an injury to the tissue where the connective tissue is present, so these mast cells are going to release some substances, some chemicals, and it will lead to some changes like the accumulation of fluid, heat, redness, etc. So basically mast cells are responsible for the inflammation. Now inflammation is actually an immune response to neutralize the entry of harmful substance, and if there is no foreign substance, then we can call it as allergic reaction. So what I'm the difference is, if a foreign substance or a pathogen enters, then the mast cells are going to uh, cause inflammation, right? So in that case inflammation is an immune response, but sometimes mast cells response is unwanted, so they are going to show the inflammatory reaction for the harmless substances. In that case we call it as allergic reaction. So the allergic reaction or the normal inflammation, whatever it is, so that is done by mast cells. Now the fibers, okay, so as far as fibers are concerned, so they are polymers of some protein molecules, and we mainly identify three kinds of fibers in the connective tissue, that is collagen fibers, elastic fibers, and reticular fibers. The okay, here in these diagrams just show you how they appear under microscope. So the organization of ground substance, the tissues, the organization of matrix is the ground substance, and the fibers and the cells. So mainly the ground substance, cells, and fibers in all these. So this is areolar connective tissue. This is adipose tissue, where the tissue is mainly occupied by the adipose cells which store the lipid or fat. This is a reticular connective tissue where the fibers are more in number, and this is elastic tissue, where the tissues contain most of the elastic fibers, and this tissue is elastic in nature. So this is a dense, where collagen fibers are more in number. So like this, the connective tissues differ in structure and also in function depending upon the components and the number of components, like more fibers give more strength, etc. Okay, here are the supporting tissues like cartilage. Again, the cartilage is divided into hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, fibrocartilage, etc. And the fluid connective tissue, that is blood and lymph, the diagram is not given here, the bone, which is the hard endoskeleton part of the body, and embryonic connective tissue somewhat looks like this. Okay? So these are just the diagrams to show you how the connective tissue appears under microscope. Now let us try to understand what is a loose connective tissue. Now loose connective tissue, it is a type of connective tissue proper. It is mainly found between many organs where it acts both to absorb shock and bind tissues together. Now just think of any organ in the body. You know, organs are mainly made up of different kinds of tissues. Say for example, you take the example of liver. So liver is made up of nervous tissue, muscular tissue, epithelial tissue, etc. But in between these different types of tissue in the organ, we find the connective tissue. So connective tissue normally provides a platform in which other tissues exist and form the organ structure. Now, therefore, we can consider the loose connective tissue as a binding tissue which is responsible for the proper structure of different organs in our body, whether it is kidney, liver, heart, whatever it is. In all these places, we find this loose connective tissue, and we mainly find the loose connective tissue below the skin. Okay, and this loose connective tissue allows water, salts, and various nutrients to diffuse through to adjacent or embedded cells and tissues. So, as we already discussed, it is just a middle part. It is just a component which is found between the different types of tissues and different types of tissue cells. So it is going to allow the movement of all kinds of molecules across it. Now there is another example of this loose connective tissue, that is adipose tissue. And adipose tissue is mainly made up of adipose cells, adipocytes we call it as, and its main function is to store the fat. So lipid storage is the main function of these adipocytes, and adipose tissue is mainly associated with fat deposition. So the fat which is excess, whenever we consume the lipid and other things, if it is in excess, then it is going to be stored in the adipose tissue. Not only the fat diet, even if we consume more carbohydrates, so that extra carbohydrate is going to be converted into the fat by the liver, and that fat from the carbohydrate is again going to be stored in the adipose tissue. Now this adipose tissue distribution is different in male and female, and in different animals it is found in different parts. Okay, now adipose tissue has two important functions. So of course its main function is to store the lipid or fat, and the fat layer which is normally found below the skin, it also acts as an insulator. So the animals which live in cold climatic conditions where the temperature is very low, okay, think of the polar bear, seals, penguins, etc., which live in the polar areas where the temperature is very, very low, like -40, -60, -20, like that. In that climatic condition, so this fat layer, which is just below the skin, it will act like a insulator. It will protect the animal from the cold climatic condition. So it will keep the inner temperature. Okay, now that is one function, and whenever there is a necessity, whenever there is no food, so the fat which is deposited in this tissue will be used as a source of energy. Okay, now areolar tissue, I already told you, it fills the spaces in between the tissues of different organs. Now reticular tissue is another type of tissue which forms a network, and it holds different kinds of organs. So it is found in different organs, and as the name suggests, reticular tissue is mainly made up of network of fibers, more network of fibers. Now the second type is dense connective tissue. It contains more collagen fibers than does loose connective tissue. So the main difference between loose connective tissue and the dense connective tissue is more collagen fibers are found in dense connective tissue. So the dense regular connective tissue fibers are parallel to each other. So here we identify dense regular and dense irregular connective tissue. In the dense regular connective tissue, the collagen fibers are arranged very neatly parallel to each other. Now collagen fibers are going to form the mechanical support or mechanical strength, and they are also elastic in nature. Now because of more amount of collagen fibers, so this dense regular connective tissue gives support, mechanical support to the organ or tissue wherever it is found. Now, it has a tensile strength and resistance to stretching in the direction of the fiber orientation. So, wherever you find this kind of tissue, I mean this dense regular connective tissue, so that tissue has the ability of tensile strength. So you can stretch to some extent, and it will uh, withhold it, or it is capable of that stretch, maintaining that stretch. Now the best example of dense regular connective tissue are ligaments and tendons. So we know about these ligaments and tendons which are found in different parts of the body. uh, of course, muscular tissue is mainly involved in locomotion, and along with that we find these ligaments and tendons. Okay, so they are the ones which are helpful in maintaining the tensile strength. And the second category of dense connective tissue is dense irregular connective tissue, where the fibers are randomly distributed in the matrix, and this arrangement gives more strength to the tissues. So the random arrangement of fibers provides more strength to this tissue, and uh, because of this, it is more flexible. Okay, for example, the dermis of the skin. So you know that we can press the skin and it will change the shape, and when we remove the pressure, so it will come back to its original shape. So this kind of elastic nature of our skin is mainly due to the presence of this dense irregular connective tissue. Now let's move on to the next type of connective tissue, that is supportive connective tissue. There are two examples under this. One is cartilage, and the second one is bone. Now cartilage and bone, of course, they are part of endoskeleton. And if you remember, in Pisces, there are two subclasses. Actually, two classes. One is chondrichthyes and another one is osteichthyes. And chondrichthyes we commonly call them as cartilage fishes, like sharks, rays, etc. So the whole body is mainly made up of cartilage and no bone in those animals. And osteichthyes, called bony fishes. So the endoskeleton is made up of bone. So in case of vertebrates, the bony fish and amphibia, reptilia, birds, and mammals. So in all these animals, cartilage and bone are the main components of endoskeleton, right? Now, cartilage, of course, it is a connective tissue which consists of matrix, cells, and fibers. And the matrix, the ground substance, consists of chondroitin sulfates. And the cells, the typical cells which are found in cartilage tissue are chondrocytes. Actually, these chondrocytes are the ones which are going to secrete these chondroitin sulfates. And if you take the section of this cartilage tissue, we find lacunae, and lacunae means the spaces, and in these spaces we find these chondrocytes situated. So here in this diagrammatic representation of cartilage, you can see this is the ground substance and these are the lacunae, and in this lacunae we find the cells called chondrocytes situated. Now, one of the very interesting character and important character of cartilage is avascular. That means we don't find the blood vessels penetrating through this cartilage tissue. Now, the all the nutrients, gases, etc., which is going to be transported through the blood. Since the blood vessels are absent in the cartilage, all these material have to diffuse from wherever the blood vessels are there. Normally the blood vessels are found in the surface area. From there, the nutrients, excretory material, nutrients and gases, etc., will diffuse, and from the tissue, the excretory materials and carbon dioxide will diffuse to the blood vessels or blood. Now, because of this avascular nature, normally the healing process of cartilage is delayed. It's comparatively slower compared to the other kinds of tissue. So whenever there is a damage to the cartilage tissue, the healing process is comparatively slow because of this avascular nature. Now, example of cartilage tissue include hyaline cartilage, fibrocartilage, and elastic cartilage. So properties differ. Only I can give the example. Hyaline cartilage is found in the rib cage and nose. So the tip of our nose is mainly made up of hyaline cartilage. We know that it is flexible and elastic tissue, whereas fibrocartilage is mainly found in the knee joints. Okay, so the knee joint, that menisci part of the knee joint, it is mainly made up of fibrocartilage. And our earlobe, it is mainly made of elastic cartilage. So the name tells you elastic in nature. You can twist the ear and it will regain its shape because of this elastic cartilage, which is more rich in elastin fibers. Now, the next type of supportive connective tissue is bone, and it is hardest connective tissue. You know, bone is a tissue which is very hard, and bone tissue forms the endoskeleton of the vertebrate body. As I told you, starting from the bony fishes up to the higher animals like mammals, all these animals are having the bone as the endoskeleton. And like any other connective tissue, it is also made up of ground substance, cells, and fibers. But here, the ground substance is very hard because of the deposition of calcium hypoxyapatite. And the cells of the bone are osteoblasts or osteocytes. And this is a very hard connective tissue. And bone tissue, actually at the center of bone, you know, there is another tissue called bone marrow, which produces different kinds of cells. And this bone is mainly supportive in function. And the last type of connective tissue is fluid connective tissue, which is represented by two fluidic tissues called blood and lymph. Now, blood, we already know it is one of the most familiar type of connective tissues. It is a fluid which is found in the blood vessels. So it circulates all over the body. Blood is mainly made up of plasma, which is the liquid part, and in the plasma we find different kinds of cells. So we know that mainly we find three kinds of cells in the blood: RBCs, red blood corpuscles, white blood corpuscles, and platelets. And RBCs, here you can see this in this picture, just the diagrammatic representation of different kinds of cells are shown. Erythrocytes, of course, RBCs are also called as erythrocytes. We know that erythrocytes are responsible for the blood coloring, that is red coloration of the blood, because it contains a pigment called hemoglobin. Now, the main function of RBC is transportation of oxygen and carbon dioxide from lungs to different tissues. That is the main function of RBCs. And WBCs, so different kinds of WBCs like basophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, neutrophil, eosinophils, they are all commonly called white blood cells, leukocytes. They are cells of immune system. Now they are mainly involved in immune response to the entry of pathogens. So they destroy the different kinds of pathogen that enter into the body. And platelets. Now the platelets are mainly involved in clotting of blood. So blood clotting is mainly done by these platelets. So that's about the blood, which plays a very important role in the transportation of materials like gases, nutrients, hormones, excretory materials, and many other things from one part of the body to other part of the body. So here, this connective tissue has many functions, and the most important function is transportation of materials between different parts of the body. The next type of fluid connective tissue is lymph. Now, lymph is commonly called body fluid or tissue fluid. So it is the fluid which is found between the cells of a tissue. You can say each and every cell of our body is literally bathed in this lymph. Of course, in our body there is a separate system called lymphatic system, and lymphatic vessels are there, lymph nodes are there, which are part of the immune system. Now this lymph is mainly made up of liquid matrix and white blood cells. So the difference between blood and lymph, we can say, as far as the composition is concerned, lymph is almost similar to the blood, and you don't find RBCs in the lymph. So that is the main difference. Otherwise, whatever that is present in the blood, all those chemicals, cells, etc. are found in the lymph. Whereas the blood is the tissue, blood is the fluid which circulates very quickly in the body because it is present inside the blood vessels and heart pumps the blood. So within 0.8 second, the blood circulates throughout the body. Whereas lymph is the tissue fluid. Lymph is the fluid which is found in the tissue and it flows very, very slowly. So there is a slow thing, and lymph is mainly associated with identification of pathogens and immune response. And connective tissue functions we already discussed during the discussion of types of connective tissue. So connective tissue mainly they support other tissues and they protect the other organs and tissues. When it comes to the bone, it forms the endoskeleton, and as far as blood and lymph, the fluidic tissues are concerned, their main function includes transport and immune response. So these are the different types of functions. Of course, there are various functions, and these are some of the important functions of the connective tissues. And to summarize what we have studied, so here I have just given a table of the types of connective tissues. Connective tissue proper, including areolar, adipose, and reticular, and that is loose connective tissue. And under dense connective tissue, we find regular elastic and irregular elastic. And supportive, there are two important tissues: cartilage and bones. And under fluid, we have blood and lymph. Now that's about the connective tissues. Regarding the structure in detail, so you can refer to any textbook or any other material which is available online, or uh, to understand the functions of different kinds of connective tissues, you can refer other references. Okay, so that's about the connective tissues. Thank you.